Tears turned to smiles, fans stunned as Wang and Shen Yue reunite in private. No one saw it coming. Not after the emotional collapse. Not after the tearful breakdown caught on camera. And certainly not after the rumors, the silence, and the mystery woman's haunting words. But love, no matter how damaged or tested, sometimes finds its way back. And in a moment that left fans speechless and the entire internet reeling, Wang and Shen Yue were quietly reunited behind closed doors, away from lights, headlines, and judgment. It wasn't a red carpet. It wasn't a dramatic confession. It was just two people, once broken by misunderstanding and silence, now standing face to face in the quietest of places. A meeting that nearly never happened. Insiders close to both stars say the reunion was never planned for public attention. In fact, the meeting was arranged in secret, with no official statement or coordinated schedule. According to sources, Dylan had been staying at a lakeside retreat in the outskirts of Chengdu, a location he chose to reflect, heal, and finally breathe again. What he did not expect was for Shen Yue to show up. Dressed in a simple white hoodie and jeans, she arrived without a stylist, without security, and without warning. She reportedly asked to see Dylan alone, insisting on no cameras and no interruptions. What happened next, however, could not be hidden. Eyes that didn't need explaining. One member of the retreat staff who witnessed their first moments described the scene in hushed tones. He froze when he saw her, they said. And then he smiled. It wasn't a wide smile, not the kind for cameras. It was the kind of smile you make when something you thought was lost walks back into the room. Shen Yue didn't say anything at first. She stood there, watching him, her hands trembling slightly at her sides. And then he did something that shocked everyone. He walked up to her slowly, stopped just a step away, and whispered, "You came back." Shen Yue reportedly said only one thing in return. "I never left. You just couldn't hear me anymore." And then, she hugged him. A long, still, silent hug that lasted almost 2 minutes. 2 minutes that fans all over the world are now trying to imagine. How the world found out. Despite the reunion being private, the truth made its way to the surface through one photo. A blurry image captured from a distance showed Dylan and Shen Yue sitting together on the edge of the retreat garden, heads leaning toward each other, their silhouettes close and still. No kisses. No staged affection. Just two people in quiet reconciliation. Within hours, the photo went viral. Fans were divided. Some cheered. Some cried. Some questioned everything. But most were simply stunned. Not a publicity stunt. With rumors of fake reunions and PR-driven relationships floating around the industry, many assumed this might be just another show. But those closest to Dylan and Shen Yue insist this is something entirely different. This wasn't for the cameras, one of Dylan's closest friends said. This was raw. Real. They talked for hours. No staff. No pressure. Just truth. Insiders confirm that no media deal has been struck between the two stars. There are no upcoming projects involving both of them. No press tour. No interviews scheduled. In fact, the only thing Dylan posted after the reunion was a single sentence on his private story. Some hearts need time to speak. Hers just spoke. Where they go from here? There's no official statement. No label has been placed on what they are now. Are they back together? Are they just talking again? Is it forgiveness, or is it the beginning of something entirely new? What we do know is this: something shifted. Something softened. And the wounds that once made Shen Yue stand silently on that balcony now seem to be healing. In fact, fans noticed that Shen Yue's once dormant social media was recently updated. Her new bio reads simply, "Forgiveness is not weakness. It's how strong people begin again." The internet reacts. As expected, social media exploded with reactions. Hashtags like #Dylan and Shen Reunited and #Forgiveness in Chengdu trended for hours. Fan comments ranged from emotional to cautious. "I cried when I saw that hug. You could feel everything they couldn't say before. I hope this is real and not something forced. She deserves peace. Sometimes love just needs silence to grow again. I'm scared for her, but also, maybe he really changed." Not everyone is convinced, and some are still skeptical, especially after the mysterious woman's previous post that cast doubt on Dylan's past. But the truth is, for now, no one else's opinion matters. This is no longer a public crisis. It's a private healing. Will it last? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. This wasn't a publicity stunt. It wasn't a photo op. It was real. Real tears. Real forgiveness. And maybe, just maybe, the start of something new for two people who were never meant to stay broken. For now, the world watches. Quietly. Hopefully. And maybe with the same kind of smile Dylan had when she walked back into the room. Because sometimes, the loudest headlines come from the softest moments. And sometimes, after all the noise, two people find a way to start again. It was never for the cameras, Dylan Wang and Shen Yue caught leaving together, but why the tears again? The article. Just days after fans rejoiced over the quiet, unexpected reunion between Dylan Wang and Shen Yue, new footage has surfaced, and this time, it's not smiles we're seeing. It's tears. Again. And this time, it's Shen Yue crying, not in private, but in the back seat of a black car as Dylan reaches for her hand. The footage, captured from a distance by a stunned onlooker near a luxury wellness villa outside Hangzhou, has now sent fans spiraling back into speculation. We saw them walk out together. She was smiling at first, the witness claimed. But by the time the car door closed, her face had changed. She looked broken. And Dylan, he looked scared. So what happened? What turned the joy of their reunion into another storm of emotion? And why are insiders now saying that this may be the hardest chapter of all for the once silent pair? From healing to headlines. It was only a few days ago that the internet collectively exhaled when news broke that Shen Yue had arrived quietly at Dylan Wang's private retreat. Fans celebrated photos of them sitting together, holding hands, and sharing what looked like a long-awaited moment of peace. But no statement followed. No captions. No announcements. Just more silence. And then came the car. A camera in the wrong place at the right time. According to a local villa worker, the two had spent nearly 10 hours together that day. They reportedly took a walk along the lake, shared a private lunch in the garden, and were seen laughing. Until a call came through on Dylan's phone. Everything changed after that call, the staffer claimed. His face dropped. She looked away. They left quickly after that. The call lasted less than 2 minutes. But it was enough to unravel whatever fragile thread was holding them together that afternoon. When Shen Yue got into the car, she wiped her eyes repeatedly. When Dylan followed, he tried to hold her hand. At first, she let him. Then, she pulled away. Fans react to the new footage. Within hours, the leaked video was everywhere. Some fans defended the moment as normal emotional processing. Others feared this was the beginning of another collapse. Healing isn't linear, one fan wrote. Maybe she's just overwhelmed. That's okay. Another posted. This is why we were afraid to hope. It hurts more the second time. Hashtags like #LetThemHealPrivately and #ProtectionYou began trending almost immediately. A message from Dylan's team. In an unexpected turn, Dylan Wang's management issued a rare statement late last night. Dylan is currently focused on rebuilding trust, not reputation. What you saw was not part of a media plan. It was two people navigating private emotions in a public world. We ask that their time be respected. The statement only fueled more curiosity. Because if the reunion wasn't for the cameras, what was it for? And why does it feel like they're still fighting for something neither of them can fully name? Shen Yue's silent response. While Shen Yue has not addressed the footage directly, her most recent story on a private account has already sparked widespread conversation. It was just a screenshot of a song. The lyrics read, "You came back. But not the same. I smiled. But not for long." No caption. No explanation. Just pain. And poetry. What happens next? Sources close to both camps say that Shen Yue has extended her stay in Hangzhou. She is not currently filming any projects. And she has reportedly refused to take any calls from the press. Dylan, on the other hand, has cancelled 2 upcoming public appearances. Rumors say he plans to fly back to his hometown alone. Others believe he may follow her again. Is this a reunion or a goodbye? No one knows. And perhaps they don't either. What began as a quiet, emotional reunion is now tangled again in questions, silence, and the pressures of a world that won't stop watching. But even now, even through the confusion, there's something different this time. Even in the tears, there was no slamming of doors. No dramatic exits. Just a hand held too tightly, and then released. This isn't a love story with clean edges. This is a story of heartbreak, healing, and maybe, hope. Hope that sometimes, even if love doesn't return the way it left, it returns softer and stronger. We are watching carefully. And perhaps this time, even the tears will mean something beautiful is still possible.